and violence, and it provides the means for success for our youth for the future, and that's exactly how I think we should manage our jail population.
Thank you. On the issue of pretrial release authority, I would welcome that authority from the Board of Supervisors. As was stated here earlier, the overcrowding issue is a perennial issue in the county jail, as it is in many similar facilities across the nation. As it relates to split sentencing as an option, certainly I would welcome the opportunity to be able to look at that, to see how we make that work in the county. We need to work with the DA's office. We need to work with the judicial system to be able to be comfortable that everybody's on board and we're moving down the road together on that issue. Pretrial release authority gives me additional flexibility in managing the jail population. This is something that, as you know, in the past 2 years, it's gone anywhere from 15,500 to well over 19,000. So some challenges there that we continue to face. AB 109 realignment has changed the landscape that we operate in, and we need to be flexible in dealing with that. Nonviolent offenders, again, you heard about the risk assessment tool. We need to be able to do that, to triage who do we feel comfortable releasing to the community, but we need to do so in such a way where we use GPS, we use other tools where we can ensure that behavior is appropriate. The mental illness issue was touched on. I can't say enough about that. We have not been doing that well. We need to change that dramatically. And we need a comprehensive reentry program. The way we've been doing business has not worked, and with the results are predictable. We've seen the recidivism rates being what they are now for so long. If we continue the cycle we've been on, we'll continue to get the same results, which are not productive. Thank you.
Former Sheriff Baca championed the Secure Communities Deportation Program, which checks the immigration status of all arrestees during booking, and has resulted in over 30,000 deportations of Los Angelinos, many with no criminal convictions or convictions for minor offenses like driving without a license. A recent study by researchers at the University of Illinois found that 44% of Latinos in Los Angeles fear reporting crime, in part because of the Secure Communities program. What is your position on the program? And if you were elected sheriff, what would you do to address the fear it has created among many members of the immigrant community? Mr. Rogers, your 2-minute response, please.
Thank you. I was raised by a grandfather who's a proud immigrant from Chihuahua, Mexico. My sister joined our family at the age of 9. She was born in Tijuana, Mexico. And when she was reached adulthood, she had not been naturalized. She had gone through the Mexican foster care system, Los Angeles County foster care system, and she hadn't obtained citizenship. So we had to go through that process. And as I think about this question, I think about what would have happened to her if she got a minor traffic violation, was arrested and incarcerated, and we used Secure Communities to identify her as a non-naturalized citizen and was deported to a country that she didn't speak the language and knew nobody there. I definitely wouldn't support that. My family experience certainly guides me. It guided me when I was a captain of a sheriff's station. It will guide me as I'm sheriff. I'm proud to say that I just signed a letter recently that was forwarded to our interim sheriff recommending full and formal compliance with the Trust Act in California. So the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has been informally implementing that for some time, but we are officially on board from here on out, and that will continue under Sheriff Rogers' administration. Thank you.
Well, I should point out, number one, that I'm a progressive Democrat, so this response may not come as much of a surprise to you, but I don't support Secure Communities. ICE will not be in our jails. I reject the Arizonification of LA County, if anybody thinks that that's a good idea. We need to build trust with the community, and the best way to do that is to let them feel safe with us. We're not in the immigration business. We're not going to be taking people's cars. We're not going to be breaking up families. I spent 20 years on the streets of Los Angeles, and the things that keep me up at night are not getting shot at or fighting at people. It's when I think about people that I had to arrest because that was the law, but then it broke up their family and one got deported, and there's a single parent now, or the kids have to choose to go back to their home country of the parents. And that is absolutely ridiculous, and that's the antithesis of what law enforcement should be. So I do not support Secure Communities. Thank you.
That's where Lou Vince and I would absolutely agree, and both being Democrats. We have to ask the question, why are we using local law enforcement resources to enforce inconsistent and unclear federal policies that don't really make sense to the security, certainly in Los Angeles? It breaks my heart. More than half my career was working the graveyard shift or the overnight shift, and it would always break my heart when people would be afraid to report crimes out of fear of contacting the sheriff's department for being reported to be deported. And we can't have that. We need to uphold public trust in our local sheriff's department, and enforcing ridiculous federal policies that are unclear and inconsistent is not the way to do that. So we need to garner trust, and I will make sure that we are consistent with those trust issues by not enforcing these inconsistent and unclear federal policies.
I'm the son of immigrants. My parents came over a year before I was born from Ireland, so I'm sensitive to the issues that people face when they enter a new country. A lot of challenges. Secure community checks the immigration status, but ICE can't mandate what you do with that. There's an Attorney General opinion that basically supports the local jurisdiction's ability to be able to do what they believe necessary. We need to be in compliance with the Trust Act of California, no doubt. We do need to work with ICE when we focus on predators. There are people in our community who are preying on people in their neighborhoods, people very much like them. We need to be, look at it as a tool in the toolbox, and you don't use the same tool for every job. Community-based policing is a foundation of how I do business. We need to be able to establish and maintain a rapport with the community. We need people to report when they're a victim of crime. If they don't, we can't help be able to make the neighborhood safer. When people are living in fear, we have a situation that should not be tolerated in our nation. We need a partnership with all communities throughout the county. We need to work with people closely, and we need to be able to, at the end of the day, come together and believe that we're all working together toward public safety for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Olmsted, your 2-minute response, please.
America has always been a land of dreams and freedom. It's been that way for centuries. It's going to be that way for centuries to come. We're going to have immigrants coming across the borders constantly, and rightfully so. They want to reach the dream, the same dream that all of us are here for. That being said, when ICE is in the jail system, I'm emphatic. They do not need to deal with the misdemeanors that are in the system. However, those felons that are immigrants, that prey on the society, that prey on the community, that are released and back out into the community to prey on them again, don't need to be here. I will deport the felons. I will not deport the ones that are pushing the little carts, or the ones that are trying to make an income, the ones that are trying to reach that particular dream. They've got families are here, they've got children that are here, and that's just going to compound the problem even worse, and that's going to be unacceptable. But we need to secure the border from the standpoint of the drugs coming across. We need to make sure we have control on that, because that's just a scourge on society here. And we need to make sure that terrorism and others are not allowed to come across also. But we need to create an atmosphere and encourage amnesty for those that are here, those that are working, that are paying taxes and working hard for the communities. I don't want the felons preying on the constituents here. I will deport those. And the last part is I need to work with the communities by having the outreach, by listening to them. If 44% of the people are afraid to come and talk to the police, then now it's up to me to reach out to them and find out what it is they need from me. And I'm the one that's going to have to build that bridge and be the outreach to the community. And that's what I will do.
And that's it for this Newswire LA broadcast. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next time. And remember, to follow anything Newswire LA, look us up on Facebook and Twitter. Remember, the primary is coming up on June 3rd, so make sure you get out and vote. Voting is a right that people have fought for and died for, and you have an obligation to make sure their sacrifice was worth it. We'll see you back here next time. I'm Chin Thomas Sanksy saying good night, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for more news on this Westlake Signal station.